Recall that today there was good weather, so I set the entire camp up first, rested after the hammock was installed, and now I'm going to put my tarp up casually. If it had been a rainy day, obviously the tarp is going to go up first. I carry the tarp in the outer pocket of my pack. This is the JRB 11 by 10 foot tarp. And it's already got my 2 ridge cords installed. And when we unroll it in a moment, you'll see that I also have the self-tensioning lines installed. I've rigged my tarp so that I could hang it in what we refer to as the Baker style lean-to. When I hang it that direction, it will set up full wind protection to the backside and a very comfortable porch to the front side, which you'll see in a moment. There's a version of the Dutch fly that's installed with these cords, and in the Dutch fly you just go around the loop, around the front antenna and back in the back antenna, and it's tied in place. Now, I'm just going to flip this front side tarp out of the way for a moment. And the other thing I'm going to do is go back to that pole bag, which is also my stake bag, and get myself a handful of stakes out of here. These self-tensioning lines have been girth hitched to each of the corners, and there's a little pull string. If I pull the string, they just come straight out. All right, at this point, I've got about a foot of tarp past these rings on this side, and I'm just right up to the ring on this side. So I need to move this tarp just a little bit that direction. The only action required is to come up here, loosen this by about 6 inches, come around to this side, tighten it by the corresponding 6 inches, and now the tarp is firmly in place. I'm going to stake out the back corners first. I like to use a slippery taut line twice around the standing line, back through on a bite, and you can adjust it. At this point, you can either use the tarp and you're fine if it was raining and you're seeking coverage, or you can improve it with a nice stick or a couple of hiking poles if it's low enough, etc. I'm going to walk around and see if I don't find a nice stick. I'll be back in a moment. Well, I found a nice stick. Now I just have to attach it. Okay, so again, just pull the string and everything unwraps. I'm going to wrap this once or so around the pole. Again, slippery taut line, twice around the standing edge, standing rope back over, and it's adjustable. At this point, the camp is fully set up. I can make sure that my little visitor seat and my poles are under the tarp. And camp is complete. The little seat has a lot of purposes, one of which is if you've got company for a little while, while I'm sitting in the hammock, if someone had stopped by, they can have a nice seat and we can have a chat. We can fix a cup of coffee, have a libation, enjoy a snack, and otherwise pass the pleasantries of the afternoon in a very comfortable way. The interesting thing about this rig is the rain is shed in all directions. There's plenty of tarp coverage, and as you can see, I can stand up fully in here, have the comfort of a chair height bed, and walk in and out without obstruction. While the camera was off, we changed the orientation of the tarp. It's still hung on the same ridge line. It still has the long side to the back, which was the Baker before, giving us full wind side protection. Well, what I've done is stake the porch mode out high. And the reason for doing that is to highlight how much room this tarp will give you when you need it. I ride a motorcycle, adventure touring, and so do many of others who use hammocks. In this setup, you could literally come in from the end on your motorcycle. You've got plenty of room, keep your entire cycle dry, and you'd have it right next to you. Alternatively, if you had 3 or 4 of your hammock buddies camped here and there and 20 feet away, and you were deciding to have dinner, they all bring their stools over or their sit pad. You get out your little stove, you make some dinner, you have a nice chat, you eat a few cookies for dessert, you say goodnight to your friends, and you bid them adieu as they go back to their camp.